one of the captains for your state champion Carmel Greyhounds, Jordan Chapman. Congratulations, man.
All right, well, I want to start off with a different look at the 2007 state football team. That's actually the Carmel Pups, which is the 5th and 6th grade traveling football team. As you can see, we look pretty young. Not all of the seniors played on that team, but I know a lot of the seniors played on the Carmel Pups football team back in 6th grade. And here is a particularly fierce Carmel Pup. There we go. That's probably one of my mom's favorite pictures of me. Now, cuteness is not a desirable trait if you're a football player, but you know, I'm trying to scout and it's not really working out too well for me. But we can take that down. I don't like looking at it. So that year we actually made it to state and we got crushed by Ben Davis, unfortunately. So that kind of started our string of getting runner-up. And it's not really a good feeling. I mean, it's nice to make it to state, but coming short is kind of disappointing when you get that close. So we all went, actually ever since that year, we've been dreaming about going to state because since we came up short, we always wondered, you know, what would it be like to be the title, the state winner? So ever since that year, we've always talked and dreamed about winning state. I know it kind of felt like a dream, like something far off that we thought should happen, but we never thought actually would happen. But we always talked about it. And so we went to our respective junior highs. Now some people went to the better one, Carmel Junior High. But now I know some of you might bring up the football games, I guess, but I would call that more of a fluke than an actual proven statement. So we all came to freshman year and came together as a football class. And so when we finally got to the high school, our dream of winning state seemed to be within reach. So junior year we came and we actually went to state, which is incredible, but we got runner-up again. So the disappointment of coming so close, but coming up short again, kind of hit us again. So senior year came, and with it came crazy expectations. At one point, we were ranked within the top 25 top football teams in the country. The pressure was kind of ridiculous, but it was nice to be noticed. Yet still, all of the seniors felt the pressure to win state. And the thing is, we actually did. It was amazing. Probably one of the greatest, or the greatest football moment of my life. I know it was definitely incredible. I'm sure a lot of you guys were there or saw it or something. So, hopefully. Well, however, as amazing as that was, actually, I remember going into the bathroom the next week, and one of the coaches came in, and he said, "Hey, have you come off cloud 9 yet?" And I was like, "No, actually, I haven't." And I know a lot of the other football players, I'm sure, don't remember going to school that next week. I don't really remember it at all. So, but apparently it happened. But as amazing as winning state was, and as incredible as it was, it did not fulfill me or satisfy me. The incredible feeling seemed to be kind of short-lived. After all the years of dreaming and practicing and getting ready to win state and the talking that we had and the times that we would hang out and talk about it, it seemed like the feeling that I had didn't really fulfill me like I had hoped. Thing is, a football championship never promises to satisfy you or fulfill you. The next year comes again, and another team wins, and life goes on. So winning the state title helped me realize that I wanted to live my life for something unchangeable. I've been a Christian for most of my life, but that doesn't mean that I'm perfect or that my life is easy. I'm still lonely sometimes. I still sit at night wondering if anybody cares about me or if they care about what I'm going through. I know sometimes what Jesus says is not always fun to go through. I know going at a party and turning down alcohol when a lot of other people are doing it, or being honest in school when it kills my school grade. And also, I'd love to give a quick cheap shot to some of the dirty players who I played among the years, but when it comes down to it, the reason I choose to live my life differently is because of who Jesus is, and he's captured my heart. I remember going into freshman year and kind of realizing, hey, I'm my own person. I don't necessarily have to be good because my parents tell me to, or because the church is telling me to. I can decide what I want to. So freshman year, I decided to go on my own intellectual search, if you will. I kind of had some questions like, is the Bible actually true? Is it reliable? Should I trust it? Is there even a God? Is Jesus really God? Did he die and come back again? That seems kind of ridiculous in the way of science, I guess. But what I found began to change my life. I read that a guy named Simon Greenleaf, I'm sure probably you guys have not heard of him, but he was actually the royal professor of law at Harvard back in the 1800s and brought the Harvard school up to where it is now. but he's also considered the greatest authority on legal evidences in the history of the world. And when he went through the resurrection and kind of through the proofs of it, he concluded that the resurrection of Jesus was a historical reality and a historical event. I also began to find that the Bible is the most proven historical book of all time compared to any other historical book. So I began to see that my faith was true, but the thing is, just because something seems to be true doesn't mean it's attractive. And I guess the reason that I really am a Christian is because of what Jesus has done for me. And I could describe him a little bit, but I think a story would describe him a lot better. In the Bible, we read about this woman who was caught in the act of adultery, so having sex with somebody who's not her husband, and she was actually dragged out by the Pharisees. And the Pharisees back then would be like the church pastors or the church priests of today. So they dragged her out into the middle of the town square and had her sitting there. Now everybody had seen her, everybody knew she was guilty, she had no excuse, but she was just sitting there in her shame. But what Jesus does astounds me. He stoops down and he starts drawing in the sand in front of him. And all around you see these Pharisees starting to grab rocks, because at that time the punishment for adultery was stoning, was death by stoning, so they throw rocks at her until she died. So Jesus is sitting there kind of drawing in the sand, and he straightens up after a little bit, brushes himself off and says, "Let he who has no sin throw the first stone." And then he calmly stoops back down, starts drawing a little bit in the sand, and all the Pharisees slowly start walking away, the oldest first because they're wiser than the younger ones. But everybody realizes that they weren't perfect. So now Jesus has her one-on-one, and he looks over, and I'm thinking at this point, okay, other people can't judge her because nobody's perfect, but surely Jesus can. He's God, he's perfect, he has a right to judge her. But instead, he looks at her and he says, "Where's everybody gone?" And she says, "Nobody's here, they all left. There's nobody here to accuse me." So then Jesus looks at her and he says, "Neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." And just the love and the grace that Jesus shows that woman blows me away even to this day. She's sitting out there with no excuse. She was guilty, but Jesus forgave her. She did not deserve the love and the grace that Jesus gave her, but he gave it anyways. And Jesus does the same for all of us. When we mess up, Jesus is there to forgive us. When we mess up, Jesus is there to forgive us. He's the one person who knows exactly what we're going through and exactly how we're feeling. When we're lonely, he's always there no matter what. And Jesus knows all of our hurts and our fears and our worries and concerns, and he invites us to begin a relationship with him. In the Bible, he says, "Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn to live freely and lightly." The thing is, none of us are perfect. We've all messed up, and we can all relate to the woman who was caught in her sin. The Bible says that we've all sinned and fall short of the glory of God, but the good news is that we're all justified freely by his grace. And Jesus comes and he invites us, and Jesus came on the earth actually, and he lived a perfect life and died, and his sacrifice allows us to have this relationship with him that he invites us to. Now this all might not make sense, like talking to a God who you can't see or physically talk to, or getting to know this God who is not here right in front of you, that you can see him. But that's okay. Jesus still invites us anyways. He invites all of us who are lonely, hurt, worried, messed up to come to him, and he will meet our needs. So if any of you guys are interested in getting to know this Jesus who loves you so incredibly much, you can pray this after me. You can pray it out loud in your mind. If you don't want to at all, that's fine also. So I'm going to pray really quick. Hey, Jesus, thanks for loving me. Lord, I need you. I know that I'm not perfect, and I can tell because my life is not perfect either. Lord, I ask that I could begin this relationship with you and accept this invitation that you give to all of us. And we believe that you died on the cross and know that you are inviting us to this incredible love relationship with you. And so we thank you and we praise you. In your name I pray. Amen.